pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms.
Thank you, Councilor.
Colors. Post.
Ready, right, face. Forward, march.
Thank you, everyone. Please have a seat.
Ready. Seat.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Ricard Resendiz. On behalf of the New Bedford Police Department, I would like to welcome everyone here this afternoon for our promotional ceremony. I would like to thank the family and friends and also my fellow colleagues for being here today and to show support for our officers being honored this afternoon. My thanks also to members of the City Council who I see here in the audience. Your continued support and attendance at these events are greatly appreciated by our department staff and also by the family members of the officers we are honoring here today. We are here this afternoon to celebrate the promotions of the following officers: Sergeant Justin Kagan, promotion to lieutenant; Officer Michael Cassidy, promotion to sergeant. I would also like to announce that we will be recognizing and presenting an award to Officer Jeremy DeMello, who also joins us on the stage. Officer DeMello will be presented with the Chief's Award for his exceptional service to the department. Before we start the ceremony, I would like to invite Pastor Doug Cedarberg to the podium to lead us in prayer. Pastor Cedarberg is the pastor from the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in New Bedford and also serves as a member of the Interchurch Council in Greater New Bedford. Pastor Cedarberg is also one of several pastors that work closely in our department's outreach initiatives, and we are thankful he is joining us here today. Pastor Cedarberg.
Grace to you and peace. On a promotional ceremony like this, a fitting passage of Scripture, I believe, comes from Jesus' words to his disciples. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been trustworthy in a few things. Now I put you in charge of many things. According to Shakespeare, all the world is a stage, and you have played your character well in this stage production we call daily life in New Bedford. And now we look to you for even more. Character. We each play some role on the stage of life. We are always playing some character. The role I play on the character I play on the stage is that of a clergyman. Consequently, you look to me to do certain things, play my character. You look to me to pray, to bless, to offer a word of encouragement or instruction. And make no mistake, I had better do it faithfully, and I had best do it well. Law enforcement officer is also a character on the stage of life. As a citizen, I can say it is a very necessary and vital character. People in this city look to you to do certain things as you carry out your character. You are what stands between each of us and harm. You are our source of safety and security. You free each of us citizens from the weight of having to fight on our own every evil that comes our way. Because you are on stage with us, we can have a good life, and we give you our gratitude. And it is not a cliche. You are indeed our city's finest. And when any of us plays our assigned character competently, it is likely that we will be entrusted with an even more demanding character to play on stage. And that is what this ceremony is about. These three honorees have played their character well. Citizens and city officials have looked to you to do certain things in a certain way, and you have done it well. Well done, good and faithful servants. Now we look to you for even more as you play a new character on the stage of life. But character is more than just a role we play. It is also who we are. Character. It's important. The great basketball coach John Wooden said, "The true test of character is what you do when nobody is watching." We are here today on this occasion to say not only have you played your character well while we have been watching, we also believe that you have the good character to do and be the right person when nobody is watching. In other words, we trust you. That's right. And now we are entrusting you with even more responsibility, confident that in the future you will hear from us again and ultimately from our Lord, "Well done, good and faithful servants." Let's pray. Lord, on occasions like this, we are mindful of the importance of character. Each of us have been assigned some role to play on the stage of life. In this city, the characters are so important, how we conduct ourselves in our assigned roles. These honorees, these who are being promoted today, have done their character well. And we are confident that their character continues to develop, becoming even more capable servants for you and for the citizens of this city. We are grateful for all who serve in the capacity of police law enforcement officer. We are grateful for the good life we citizens can have because of them. And now on this day, we recognize that through the course of life, we are sometimes promoted. And with the promotion comes more and new responsibility. Fit these faithful servants for their task. Continue to develop their character, that they will be all the more competent, and our city will be all the more safe. We entrust them now into your care, into your hands, to keep them safe, that they might keep all of us safe. We are grateful to them through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. I would now like to invite to the podium City Council President Linda Murad.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Good afternoon, everyone. To the ranking officers who are on the stage behind me, to those fellow employees who are being recognized and promoted today, and to you, the families who are here in the audience and their fellow officers. On behalf of myself, my colleagues who joined me today, Councilor Gomes, Councilor Lopes, and Councilor Markey, congratulations. We're excited to be here and happy to be part of this ceremony. We appreciate what you do for our city every day, and we appreciate the sacrifice that you and your families give to the city of New Bedford. As a fellow employee, I want to send my congratulations to each one of you on this momentous occasion. We look forward to your continued service here in the city of New Bedford, and we look forward to more ceremonies like this where you are acknowledged and promoted. At the appropriate time, my colleague, the Chair of Public Safety, Councilor Gomes, has a recognition, an official recognition from the City Council, and we'll be happy to present it there. Again, we thank you for allowing us to be part of this ceremony, and we look forward to your continued wonderful and outstanding service to the City of New Bedford. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. I would now like to introduce our Chief of Police, Chief Joseph Cadero, for the presentation of badges and the award. Chief.
Welcome to our 6th awards and promotion ceremony. I'd like to thank and welcome the councilors, President Councilor Linda Murad, Councilor Brian Gomes, Councilor Markey, and Councilor Lopes for being here. And we appreciate your continued support from the City Council and coming to our ceremonies. It means a lot to the department and to the officers that are being recognized today. Mayor Mitchell could not be here today, but I welcome Representative Christine Arsenault, who is here representing the mayor's office. Welcome. Our fellow officers who are here to support our department, both on stage, our command staff, our captains, and Lieutenant Bobby Aguiar, leading our OCIB, Sergeant Jimmy Estrella, the Vice President of our union, Lieutenant DaCosta, Lieutenant Rodriguez, Sergeant Martins, and Sergeant Andrew Simmons, and family members and friends. First of all, I want to thank you, family members and friends, for all that you've done to get both Justin, Mike Cassidy, and Jeremy DeMello to this point in their career. Without you, they would never be here. And there's a lot of study time, a lot of commitment, time away from their families preparing for this exam. So I thank you for that. And I'd like to thank you also in the future for the time that it's going to take away from your families and the heartache that, and the burden that they will bring with them of the responsibility of their new promotions and positions. It is a big deal. So I thank you for that, for your continued support. And of course, to our honorees. You know, I have to agree with a lot what Reverend had to say here today about this is about doing God's work. That's what we do here in the Bedford Police Department. It is doing God's work. And it's not easy, without question. And it requires us, as both Justin and Michael enter this new realm of their career, it does require change. For Justin, it's going to be probably a little bit easier for you. You've been a sergeant for some time. He was in charge of the Port Authority. So going from a sergeant to lieutenant, there is a change where you'll be in charge of an entire platoon now. A platoon consisting of a couple of sergeants, a number of police officers in charge of a shift for an entire district. So very likely you may end up in a South End station. So being responsible for the entire South End district for your shift, day in and day out. All those people dependent upon you to lead and guide your men and women. It's an amazing responsibility. But you've been able to ease into this transition, so the change for you may not be as hard as it is for Mike. It's a big change for you, Mike. When we go from a patrol officer to a sergeant and you're in charge of people, you're going from being run alongside with everybody, crashing into doors and doing the work, now to being the person that everybody looks to, that criticizes for the decisions that you make, right or wrong. And it's not easy. And it comes with a burden and a heavy responsibility. But without change, we don't get to progress. It just doesn't work. If you think about our own lives, I know when I started this job, we were using typewriters, manual typewriters. We're using computers today, smartphones. If you don't change with the times, you don't get to progress and become efficient and effective. So it requires you to change. It requires you to change your mindset, how you manage, how you come to work, because you have a different perspective, a different group that you're responsible for. And I think Dan Gable, and I love quotes, so it's a quote I haven't used before, and I think he quotes, "I'm a big believer in starting with high standards and raising them. When we make progress only when we push ourselves to the highest level. If we don't progress, we backslide into bad habits, laziness, and a poor attitude. The only way to avoid that is to continuously change and progress and push ourselves to the limits and push the people that now will look up to you," which leads us into the realm of leadership. Leadership, I talk about it quite often, and I'm sure you've had many leaders that you are fond of and those that you weren't fond of, that you criticized or thought you could do different. Well, here's your chance to do different. Here's time, your chance to be that change agent, to change the people that work under your command, to correct the things that you always thought could be done better. And to do that, it requires you to be a leader. To be a leader, there's a variety of characteristics that will ensure your success, but none of them without caring for your people. Caring, and a word that we don't use in policing all the time, is really loving our own. Caring and loving our own people. And that means not only telling them that they're doing a great job and praising them lavishly in front of the public, but also taking them aside when they're heading down the wrong road and correcting those behaviors so we can ensure their success. That's what caring's all about. It's not much different than being a parent. We read a ton of parent books when we have young kids, so how we can learn how to be better parents. And then we've got to put those principles and tenets into practice. And that requires being a little tough. And it requires you to be fair, firm, consistent, and having your own standards to be high. Because people are going to look up to you, and they're going to point the finger to you when they say, well, yeah, but you did it that way, but you're telling me to do this a little bit different. You got to have a little bit of tough skin because you're going to be criticized. And you're going to be criticized when you're trying to do the right thing, because doing the right thing isn't always popular. But nevertheless, it's still the right thing to do. And it doesn't always feel good. Believe me, I know. It doesn't always feel good to do the right thing, but it is necessary if we're going to continue to progress collectively as a department to where we want to go. It's about keeping your team members, and that's what we're trying to develop here as a team. It's not us against them, it's us together, a team within the department. And to create that team, we have to stay focused on our goal. And what is our goal? Our goal is why we took this job, to serve, protect, and help people. And that includes our own, to serve our own and protect our own the right way and care about them. It's about helping our people be successful, laying out that groundwork. And that's through guidance, guiding them when they're doing great and guiding them when they can do better. And we can do better. And that means sometimes looking in the mirror ourselves and saying, what could I have done better today? Leadership in the end is, and Mitt Romney said this well, leadership is about taking responsibility and not making excuses. That's how it is. We make mistakes. We have to learn from them. And that leads me to talk a little bit about failure. I don't think anybody can never say that they've never made a mistake. But without making mistakes, they're the true stepping stones to success, is learning from those mistakes. And I like to quote Paulo Coelho, a mistake repeated more than once, it becomes a decision. Now, if we use our stepping stones of failures and mistakes to success, it is doing the opposite of what the definition of insanity is, of doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. We have a choice. Learn from our mistakes and use them to reach success. Success individually, we get to grow, and we get to grow as a team and as a department. And that is dependent upon you as a sergeant, as a lieutenant, to lead your people and not be afraid to go in front of your people sometimes and say, yeah, I could have done that a little bit better. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to accept that. I think Michael Jordan puts it right, and I'll quote him. He said, I can't accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I cannot accept trying. And that's what we need to keep doing, is continue to try to become better. Better individually, better collectively, and help our people on our team be better. It requires teamwork. None of us can do this job alone. Not any one of us. And I look at some of the members from the OCIB team, and I know, Justin, you served on it, and so did Mike. You both worked there. That's a team effort. It's one person that ends up getting that affidavit and gets that ticket, but it's everybody that helped gather that evidence to get the probable cause, to get the affidavit signed, and then to execute it. It's a team effort. This is a team sport. And for us to succeed, it requires to work together as a team inside of the department. And equally important, it requires us to work as a team with the community. We can't do this without the city, without the people we serve, without our community, without our elected officials, without the other departments in city government and state government. And that's the way we can get things done. It's the only way. And it requires unity. And unity is our strength. But you can't mistake the definition of unity for folks just doing what they want or capitulating to popularity so we can have unity. Unity is for us to stick together, work together as a team, and focus on what we're trying to accomplish here. At the end of the day, we leave this job someday. And I see Lieutenant Scott Sylvia here, who's retired. And you look back on your years that you served on this job, you want to be able to leave here and be able to say, I did the best I could every day. I did the best for my fellow officers. I did the best for the people I served, because we are servants. We cannot forget that we are true servants to the public. That's why we took this job. That's who we serve. And of course, we serve the people that are under our command. So it requires teamwork and it requires unity. It requires communication. It requires to accept that sometimes your boss may have a different opinion, and we have to follow that path. And now you're going to be that boss that has to direct some of those unpopular decisions sometimes for the people under your command, for us to achieve our goals. Our responsibility is not just to our people, as I said, our community. We have a wonderful community in New Bedford. And make no mistake about it, they truly do love the New Bedford Police Department. They do. I see it every day, I'm sure you do. And the more we get to know and work with the community, and they get to work with us, I think we're all much better for it. I ask you to embrace our community policing philosophy in trying to solve problems, not just go to call a call, to recognize that there are people in our city that are deserving of us. We had a meeting not too long ago, a couple months ago, with the South End, and I can't get it out of my mind. It was a 70-ish old Portuguese woman that lives in a troubling neighborhood who's being taunted by some thugs, and there's no other way to say it, thugs. I thought I was watching a movie. She's deserving of our service and everything we got to give her. She's deserving of us finding a way to solve the problems in her neighborhood so she can live peacefully. And that means not just going to that call. It means about finding a way to resolve that problem with the utilization of OCIB, the gang unit, lighting, other departments in the city, directed patrols, enhanced community policing, door-to-door walk and talks, COIs, all that stuff. That's what it requires. She's deserving of our service. That's what we took this job for. And it requires us to embrace the community policing philosophy at every level. At your level, Justin, as a new lieutenant, you as Mike Cassidy as a sergeant, and trickling that down into your command, into your patrol officers. It's you that has to make that decision every day, and I ask you to make the right decision. It's not the easiest decision, isn't always the right decision, and certainly not the popular decision. It requires character, and we talk about this in policing all the time, valor and courage. It requires courage. It requires guts. So I ask you to dig deep into that, and I know you got it. And when I start talking about your biography very shortly, I think it will emphasize that you do have it. And when you find yourself at that crossroads where you're thinking and capitulating to popularity or to criticism, I ask you to recall some of the words that the Reverend was talking about. Fall on your faith. Fall on that we're doing God's work here. And tough love may be the route for you to go. So without any further ado, let me give you a little bit of background on both Justin Kagan and Mike Cassidy. I'm going to start out with soon-to-be Lieutenant Justin Kagan, who came on our job. He was appointed in this October 7th of 2001 as a police cadet. He became a police officer a few years later in 2004, graduated from the academy, and served in uniform division in a variety of shifts from 2005 to 2006. It was a short time. He was recognized as having talent to do doing detective work and appetite for it. I remember he worked on a 4 to 12 with me, and I was a lieutenant. I believe I wrote a few letters on his behalf. He was doing an incredible amount of work with Lieutenant Haggerty. They were partners. He went to OCIB, our Organized Crime Intelligence Bureau, as a detective, and he did some phenomenal work there. You'll see when I talk about some of his awards. He was promoted in 2012 to sergeant, returned to uniform division for a short period, and in communications, and then he became a supervisor in professional standards in 2013, and returned to OCIB in 2014 for a short period, and came back out in 17 back to professional standards, and for the last 7 months or so was our commander in the Port Security Division, and he's done a very good job, and hopefully today he will be promoted and will be temporarily assigned there until we find his replacement. But I want to talk to you a little bit about his awards. In 2006, he received the Commonwealth of Massachusetts American Red Cross Real Heroes Award. In 2006, he received an award from the City of Fall River, an official citation recognition of a Real Heroes Award. As he did in the city of New Bedford in the same year, an official resolution recognizing him for the Real Heroes Award. In 2006, in October, he received the Massachusetts Police Association Medal of Valor for courage beyond the call of duty. And that is a very difficult medal to receive. Impressive. In 2007, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the DA's office, a letter of commendation for his efforts, resulting in the defendant receiving 4 to 6 month state prison, I think that's 4 to 6 years, state prison sentence. In 2009, the U.S. Department of Justice, Outstanding Work as a Witness for the Government in a Criminal Trial, another difficult award to receive. As a matter of fact, I don't know anybody else in the department that has it. There might be somebody that has a award, but I'm not familiar with anyone else having that award. And in 2012, the New England Narcotics Enforcement Officers Association Certificate of Outstanding Contribution, Dedication, and Sacrifice. It is clear that Justin Kagan is worthy of this promotion, and clear that he's been an incredible servant to the city of New Bedford and the New Bedford Police Department and the people that he serves. Congratulations, Justin. And we have Officer Michael Cassidy, who came on our department in August 7th in 1994. He was appointed as a patrol officer. And I remember your background, Mike, and doing your interview in the captain's, well, it wasn't the captain, it was the captain's board back then. I was a sergeant. And how eager you were to come on the police department, eager to leave the Riccardi's restaurant. I'm sure you made a lot of changes since then, and you'll be making some changes as a sergeant very soon. In 1994, he graduated from the academy in December and was assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division, where he worked in a variety of assignments. Until 2004, he was assigned as a detective in the Organized Crime Intelligence Bureau. Until 2005, he returned to the Uniform Patrol Division, and in 2006, returned to our major crimes as a detective. Worked until 2007, returned to Uniform Patrol Division at Station 3, Midnights, where he has been, and will be promoted soon to sergeant and will be temporarily assigned to training. And Mike Cassidy is also no stranger to some awards, which I would like to share with you. In 1996, he received the City of New Bedford Police Certificate of Commendation, Extraordinary Dedication to Duty and Outstanding Efforts in rendering assistance to the cause of public safety. In 1996, in June, he received the City of New Bedford Police Commendable Police Action, suppressed a deranged and violent person with the greatest restraint and professionalism. In October 22nd of 96, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts State Senate citation recognition for Officer of the Year by the New Bedford Exchange Club. Impressive. In October 29 of 96, Commonwealth of Massachusetts House of Representatives, congratulations for the recognition of efforts to make New Bedford a better community. Again, in October 29 of 96, City of New Bedford official resolution recognition of Officer of the Year for his recognition of the New Bedford Exchange Club. And in January 23rd of 2003, the City of New Bedford resolution, honor for heroism in the line of duty, saving a life. In March 20th of 2003, Commonwealth of Massachusetts State Senate citation recognition for exceptional performance in the line of duty as a first responder in rescuing an accident victim and administering life-saving first aid. And again, in the same month and year, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Office of the Governor recognition of American Red Cross Real Heroes Award. In the same month and year, United States Senate and Congress recognition of American Red Cross Real Heroes Award. And again, same month and year, City of New Bedford resolution honor for American Red Cross Real Heroes Award. And finally, in terms of awards, January 25th, 2006, City of New Bedford Police Life-Saving Award. So that's 2 life-saving awards. Without question, Mike Cassidy is also very deserving of this promotion and has served our city, our department, and the people very well. So without further ado, Sergeant Gomes, if you would prepare both candidates for the promotion ceremony and pinning.
Lieutenant Justin Kagan, attend up. Sergeant Michael Cassidy. Attend. Hut! Ready, seats. Officer Jeremy DeMello, attend. Hut!
Thank you, Sergeant Gomes. Again, congratulations both to Lieutenant Kagan and Sergeant Michael Cassidy. If you give me a few more moments here, our last part of our presentation today is to honor Officer Jeremy DeMello with the Chiefs Award. Officer Jeremy DeMello, I think it was in 2015, I remember him having a discussion down at Station 1. He wanted to bring a program to the department called Shop with a Cop. And what that entails is getting police officers to meet with, I believe, 90 or some children, underprivileged children in the city of New Bedford around Christmas time, to engage and take them shopping at the Target department store. And it's a little bit more than that. It requires organizing both with Target, organizing with DCF, where we get a lot of these children, and then getting police officers to want to do that. It was a new idea for us. And the idea is to pair a police officer with a child and walk through the store and help them have a nice Christmas. But the idea is more than just that. And I had the honor of really experiencing this the first time we did it in 2016. And I really believe that the police officers, us, we actually receive more than the kids do. Because when you stand with some of these kids and you see how unselfish these kids are when you're going around the department store with them, and they start saying, well, I got to get something for my mom or for my little sister or my little brother. There's no way of not touching the hearts of the police officers. And when you do this job for a long time, your heart can tend to harden a little, and it certainly softens it. Just that alone, it's a big deal what you've done here, Jeremy, for us as police officers. Not to mention what you're doing, what you were able to do for the children by having this novel idea that you've seen somewhere, somebody else was doing it, and bringing it to our department. You've changed the lives now of at least 180 kids in 2 years, plus their families and their moms, their siblings. That most of these kids end up with multiple gifts from multiple family members. And for us, the police officers. It's an incredible, incredible thing that you've done, and I know it takes a lot of work to organize it, and I know you do get a lot of help. We recognize Sergeant Mark Stone last year for doing that and some other things, and I know you get help from folks like Claudia Sampson and Kelly Almeida, but it was your idea that brought it here, and it was you that organized it, and for that, I truly believe you deserve this award without question. I know it's had an impact on me personally, on the two kids, and especially the last one I had, Savannah. I know every police officer that is involved with that can share a very similar story. So I thank you immensely for doing that for our department, for our community, and for these children. And Jerry DeMello also, just want to talk a little bit about his career here. He came on in 2006, was appointed, and he served most of his time in the Uniform Patrol Division, mostly at Downtown Station. But recently, he chose to try something different, and he's been a school resource officer down at Roosevelt School. And I can tell you that I get a lot of feedback from a lot of people in the city for a lot of our offices, and Jeremy DeMello gets a lot of praise down there in the last 6 months of the work that you're doing down there with the kids. And I know recently he had a very difficult time down there where he was in a very volatile position. And he came out of that still as Jeremy, still wanted to do the job every day. And when I talked to him about it, when I found out about it, and he said, all's good, Chief. And I think that's commendable. Some officers go through that kind of thing, and it changes on how they do their work every day. But you chose not to continue on the mission, on the goal, to help kids in that school to reach their potential and maybe change some of their behaviors where they can be successful. So I'm grateful, Jeremy, for the work that you've done with the Shop with a Cop. I'm grateful for the work that you're doing down there in Roosevelt, and make no mistake about it, you are changing lives down there. And I hope that you will get to see the fruits of your labor with some of these kids, but sometimes we don't. But in your heart, I know you're making a difference. Jeremy did receive an award in 2017 from the Daniel Basalt principal, who was the principal of the Roosevelt Middle School. A thank you for hope and improvement and the positive impact that he's having in the youth down there. And I think that is testimony to what I just said that he's been doing in his short tenure there. So without any further ado, I would like to pin you with the Chief's Award. Thank you.
Detail, attend, put. Ready, seats.
Thank you, everyone. Before we dismiss, how about one last round of applause for our honorees? Once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. This concludes our ceremony. Sergeant Gomes, please dismiss the detail.
Promotional detail, attend, put. Dismissed.